and sexy episode on Guuurl Podcast. I am here with some ladies. Say hello, ladies.
Hi.
All right, we are taping from Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, Maryland. Woohoo!
Yes.
Tobacco Leaf. All right, so this day we are going to talk about women who smoke cigars are sexy too. Now look at us. Look, this group right here, this is sexy.
Fabulous.
We are fabulous. All right, so I'm going to go around, let everyone introduce themselves, and we're going to get this party started. I'm talking about cigars and smoking and, woo, the sexiness of it.
All right, thanks, Karen. Hey, everybody, I'm Deshawn.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura. I'm Lisa. How are you?
I'm Sandy.
I'm Kathy.
All right, and you all know me. I am Karen Creams of Guuurl Podcast. So let's get started, ladies.
All right.
Come on,
Yes.
we're going to dig into this. We're going to talk about how we got started, you know, how often we smoke, what taste we like, and we're going to also talk about some tips that'll help the new people that may want to get started and kind of got that, you know, little hesitation about what they've heard about women who smoke cigars. So we're going to jump right in. This is gonna be a wild ride, so you might as well just sit back.
And
We're gonna be
enjoy-
all
and
over the
enjoy the
place
ride.
and enjoy it. Actually, and if you indulge, you might want to light up. But we're gonna talk about how you do that and different types of punch and cuts and all of that stuff. So
I'm going to learn some stuff.
She's gonna learn some stuff. That's right. So we're gonna get in. So we're gonna kind of everybody just kind of tell me how you got started with smoking cigars. And
Yeah, so for me, it's Marcellus, my husband. So, you know, he's the one who really enjoys a cigar. And he wanted to be able to do that and didn't want me always going, what are you doing? Why do you smell like that? So, actually, I think the first time I had one, we were in Paris, sitting at a little cafe, just
very
having
cool.
wine. And he's like, take a picture with it. And he said, well, let me light it for you.
so we kind of eased her into it.
Right, ease me
Right.
into it. So it's nothing like vacation and make you open to trying some new stuff,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to share how they got started?
I got started, actually a friend of mine, he's my classmate from the military academy. He smoked cigars and he wanted me to hang out with him at a cigar lounge. And so I wanted to hang out with him, so I go and he introduced me. He said, why don't we try something? I started with more flavored, mild cigar, and of course I progressed over the years.
Okay.
those
So we'll come
cigars,
back to
but
right.
yeah.
So we kind of started out kind of like I did.
Yeah.
I started on a girls trip. Hey to my girls on a girls trip in Aruba.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to try something different.
Yes.
And so we were in Aruba on a girls trip, and it was probably about 8 of us, and we was like, oh, cigars. Let's try one. Now, we knew nothing about cigars, so I will say the first time we lit up, I think the gentleman in the shop said, don't inhale. We were like, what? What? We learned very quickly, and we'll get into that, about don't inhale.
Don't inhale.
So I started there and kind of like, okay, this is fun, you know.
I started very similar to Lisa. I got invited to come to a cigar lounge to meet people, but I didn't smoke then. And I liked the people at the lounge and hanging out, so I came for like 3 months and didn't smoke.
Wow. Okay.
And finally I was like, okay, instead of poo-pooing this, let's try it. So I also started with a flavored cigar. For probably about a month, smoked those, and when I had my first non-flavored cigar, I haven't gone back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mama Sandy, how about you?
Actually, my daughter got me into it.
Oh, daughter. Okay.
Apple and Tree were called.
Okay.
At a barbecue, I think, at the house. She was smoking out there, and I says, okay, let me try. So she lit one up for me, and it was just like one of those kind of things. You know?
Right.
Because I come from a family of smokers, cigarette smokers. So I never smoked in my life at all.
Okay.
And that was the first thing I said to you.
Don't
Don't inhale.
Right. If you don't remember anything else from this
Right.
episode
Don't
today,
inhale.
don't inhale. And we will kind of go a little bit into why you don't do that. In cigarette smoking is totally different,
different.
Yeah,
than
totally
cigar smoking. And so we all touched a little bit about how we started. I too started with the nice fruit, sweet tasting cigars, the Tatianas,
acids,
things like that.
Or,
So if you're new
Connecticut wrapper.
Connecticut wrappers,
yeah.
okay,
It's a mild.
it's mild,
It's a
okay,
mild,
okay.
yeah.
So if you're thinking about getting ready to indulge, that may be a suggestion. You ladies agree to that? You kind of
Yes.
start out maybe.
Yeah.
I would start out.
It's a little easier, especially if you haven't been a smoker at all, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I didn't start off with the flavor ones. The next boyfriend 20 years ago introduced me to cigars, but he introduced me straight into like a very light Macanudo, Monte
Oh,
Cristo.
yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I didn't ever try the flavored ones, honestly. I think I tried one after I had already been smoking
Mhm.
non
Didn't like
flavored.
it then.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
this is horrible. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So my palate just developed over the years. But either try flavored, something flavored, or try something very mild.
Very much, yeah.
Very
And I would
mild.
try
Okay,
a
okay.
shorter
Yeah.
stick just in case you don't like it or whatever. You don't waste a good stick.
It's so
Good
funny
cigar.
when you start with that sweet, because I think of vanilla something, I can't remember what it was like my first one. And like if I have that now, it's like, oh my God, did you just give me
Yeah.
a spoon of sugar?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think for if I do a flavor, I do it in the morning with coffee.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like
okay,
a
okay.
nice latte or the mint.
The Java
mint.
Mhm.
Java mint
Yeah.
and things
Yeah.
like that. But
Okay.
Or I do it as you know
A
how
dessert.
people do it
Have
as an
it.
aperitif,
yeah.
or as a
cleansing.
dessert.
After
Yeah.
dinner.
Okay,
Yeah,
after
after
dinner,
dinner
coffee.
with
Or
coffee,
okay,
with
okay.
a dessert, with something. It has to go with something
Yeah.
else
It needs
sweet.
to be
Yeah.
paired
I
well.
would
Paired
never
well.
think to have a cigar in the morning with coffee.
I
It
don't
just,
know if I
it
would
would,
do that.
yeah, for me, it's always sort of an after dinner kind of thing.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
You know, we sit outside and maybe in the evening have a cocktail and have a cigar.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
if we are out somewhere and we go to a cigar lounge like Tobacco Leaf, it's afterwards, it's later.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you guys, you all indulge different times of the day. So you're
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah.
you may
Like
smoke
if I
something in
do
the
a
morning.
in morning, because I'm a retired person, so I
That's
go
right.
out.
Mama's saying
We call her free time.
anytime
Mama
you
said
want.
free time.
I call free time too, so, I'll go out in the patio with the book, watch the deer come by, things like that. But as the day progresses, I change to a medium. Sometimes at night I'll do full body.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, and it also depends for me what I'm drinking with it.
Okay. Okay.
If I'm drinking a rum or bourbon,
Mhm.
whiskey, it depends.
Okay.
So I kind of progress through the day.
Throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mama Sandy, she starts out, like you said, in the morning. It's kind of maybe like a sweet or
That's
very
sweet, yeah,
sweet with her
chocolatey
coffee.
with my coffee.
Then she
and
moves.
stuff
Then
like that.
midday, kind of
Yeah.
like a
A
medium.
medium body.
And then she tops it off. She
She
has
finished strong.
she has a full range.
Mama Sandy finished strong.
Wait, I'm always like jealous. And she'll post it on Facebook,
Yeah,
and
she-
I'm at work. And I'm like, okay, and I get this notification. Sandy has posted. And all I can do is like,
And let me tell you, I live vicariously through Mama Sandy during the day during my work. She gets me through my work day some days.
I know, I'm like, I gotta live through her.
Which
live
one
through her.
Which one she's
What's she
smoking?
doing right now?
Let me
Ooh.
save that one. I
And
gotta
she's
share that one later.
And she's pairing it with
Yeah,
what?
she
With
always
what?
does.
What's she doing? Right.
Right.
See, that's what you have to look
phone.
forward to when you retire. If you're out there retiring, you need to catch up.
Right, catch up.
Right. Hit her up on Instagram. She will tell you what she's smoking.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
So anyone
I got
else?
retirement goals.
Hashtag retirement
Mama
goals.
Sandy goes.
Yes, Mama Sandy
That's
goes.
right. That's right. Anyone else kind of does that? Well, for me, I don't. I'm kind of like Deshawn. I'm kind of like social. We'll come to the Tobacco Leaf on a Friday night or Saturday night and kind of social, or if we out with friends, or my husband and I would go out on the deck or the patio. I haven't gotten into the all day yet.
Mama Sandy goes.
Mama Sandy goes.
So so me, it's more just social for right now.
Okay.
And I'm kind of, getting my palate used to going from the sweet into something mild to medium. And I will say, I enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
I think the other part of it too is, aside from social, like I will come to Tobacco Leaf. You all know my post anyway. But I come just to relax. I think it's a very relaxing, aside from the social, that I meet everybody here, but it's also kind of, to me, a meditative kind of thing.
Yes.
You just sit here and, it's like everything flows out of you
Nice.
kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes.
When you pick an average length cigar, and there's ring
Yeah.
size, and then there's
Okay.
of course they have different lengths.
Sorry.
You're gonna
I'm
know
with you. We're right here. We're right here.
Oh, wait.
But I'm not
we're talking about cigars.
the concept, okay. But you are at minimum committing an hour
Committing an
Okay.
hour.
Okay.
to whatever. You're not gonna blow through this in 20
Yeah.
minutes and
Right.
go outside.
Right.
When I cut a cigar, I know that I need at least an hour.
right.
And it's
commit,
relaxing, ladies.
yes.
It's
It is.
very
So it's
relaxing.
very relaxing. You're going to, whatever the day has brought me,
You're gonna unwind.
I'm going to
Right.
unwind, and so I am going to sit, if I'm smoking by myself, which oftentimes, if I'm smoking at home, out on the porch, because I don't smoke in my house,
Right.
or out by the fire pit, it's an hour.
Yeah.
And so whatever is going on, it's gonna relax, release.
Yes.
And
De-stress.
through
De-stress.
that process, because you're not going to rush through it like you would a cigarette. It's
Like
not
I
going to
said.
take
And that's another
10
point.
minutes.
Like I said, right. That's another point where it's one of the points where it's totally different than
Right.
cigarette. You smoke a
You're not-
cigarette, you take a cigarette break at work. You cannot
You
do
can't
that.
do that.
Now there are things in the cigar realm of
The
things,
small
which is
cigarillas.
small
There's
cigarillas.
cigarillas, you could do
Right.
that, but
And so those are for those that may want to.
Have a
Those
try.
are
Right.
minute
They're
breaks.
quicker
Yeah.
start.
Those are like 10 minutes that you
Yeah.
can,
Right.
and that may ease you into a full body or a regular size cigarette. And I wouldn't say that they're about this size, ladies. Again, we're talking about cigars.
yes.
Just
I know where you're going.
This size.
And then there's girth. Wait,
there's girth.
there's girth and there's length. Right. Then there's ring size, there's length, and they all have their merits.
and it all takes from your 10 minutes to your hour and a
To an
half.
hour and a half.
Just depending on how much
Right,
time
or
you may
more,
have.
or more,
Right,
because
right.
if the ring gauge is, what is that, a Churchill?
Churchill.
Yeah.
Is so a Churchill is going to be,
About as close to 60, maybe.
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
grams, yeah.
See, I told you guys to tune into this because I'm trying to
you
get
can
us
take
back
it where you
on.
want to, but I'm just saying. There's foreplay, and then there's, the
Right.
romance
Extended
stage,
play.
and then there's the extended play.
There goes that rabbit trail.
Right. We're going down the hole.
And
I'm
I don't
sorry.
mind the different sizes because I don't do it often. I'm on
Okay,
that
right,
level
okay.
that maybe today will probably be like maybe the 5th time this year I've had one.
Okay,
But I'm
okay.
okay to sit
Okay.
with him and while he's having one, so I'm not having one every time he has a cigar.
Right.
Because
Right.
Steve does it way more. But I also had to learn that it's not like cigarettes, so I can't
Right.
be like, that's too much, you're gonna get cancer, you're gonna die,
Right,
don't smoke
right.
it. So I had to realize it
So
was
the myth,
different.
if you've heard that, like I said, cigars is you are not inhaling. So if you're starting out and you will stop real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be sick.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So some of the side effects, if you do inhale for the ladies, you get sick.
You get sick, you get a
You
headache.
get a headache.
You feel like you're gonna cough out the lung.
Yeah.
Right, right. Because it is strong. It is the cigar smoke is very different than cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is meant for an enjoyment, and it's meant for, you know, networking with friends like
Yes,
this,
yeah,
or if
sure.
you're home and retired.
You can enjoy it.
So all of those things pair into. So if you're just starting out and you're listening to different types of people, everyone has advice about cigar smoking, but I would say the first advice is try it. We all
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give it a try.
And if you don't like it,
That's
Don't do
fine.
then that's fine. But once you start, you have different levels. Like Deshawn, she says she only does it a few times a year. I'm starting to do it a little more often, and then we have some that enjoy it all day. So talk about a little bit about some of the myths that you think that some of the women may be listening, that they're saying, okay, I don't want to do it because. What are some of the things that you may have heard, Laura?
I think that some of them, there's still a stigma that it's a man's pastime or hobby or whatever, and you know, women shouldn't do it, or it's not ladylike, or whatever the case is. And I remember one of the first blog posts that I wrote was on the history of cigar aficionados. Women have been smoking cigars for centuries. I mean, it goes as far back as Aztec women, like in the 1300s and even earlier than that. Women have been smoking cigars for centuries now. How it's been received and accepted in society and in our culture, that has been a different story. And I think we're just now finally kind of catching up and honestly taking over. Women are finding ways, though it's still very male dominated, they're finding ways, just like Mama Sandy here, to start side businesses and making their mark in the industry. I've come across a plethora of women in the cigar industry just from social media alone, and that are doing big things in the industry. I know a young lady in Georgia that has a mobile cigar lounge. She has an RV. She has lips, sticks, and fingertips. And I love the names that women are coming up with in the industry that are sexy, right? And she will book events and travel and do parties. She's originally from Detroit, but she's in the ATL. And they rent her out to do a party, and she's a mobile cigar lounge. And she's doing it. So, you know, whatever myths or stereotypes there were, we are blowing them out the water.
We are. And we're sexy doing it.
And very sexy, let me tell you, very sexy doing it.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Anyone else heard anything about why you think someone may not want to try it? I know coming into the tobacco leaf, some women it kind of is overwhelming, because you may come in and you may see a group of men sitting out there. You may not want to ask questions about how to get started, but I say do it. Do it. Fine. And this is a great place. Tobacco Leaf and Jessup, they're friendly. They will answer any questions you have. How long have you guys been coming here?
Well, I was going to say that, you know, yes, it can, I guess, be intimidating. I'm an outgoing person, so I find I'm not intimidated, but I found that no matter where I've gone in my journey, and we make it an adventure. We like to travel together, and to find a cigar lounge in Paris or London or you know, we go to Cigar Fest. We try to go every year, and it's 99.9% men. And I have never gone anywhere where they are not the most welcoming, most just excited that you know, women, like at Cigar Fest. The first time we went, we felt like royalty, and the respect that you get, and they're willing to answer your questions. They're willing to talk to you, and I find just it's a place to go where, you know, all this stuff that's going on out in the world. This is not all types of people from all where everything is
the community,
equal. The
community that gets
you know,
and
and
amongst each other.
I can't find it anywhere else. So
Well, it's a new market too. So you think if you go and it's predominantly, if it's male dominated, when you start bringing in one woman or two women, well, now they see an opportunity to increase their community, their audience, their customer base. So they're very welcome. They're not going to push you out the door because you're a consumer. So every time we've gone anywhere to a lounge, not just here at Tobacco Leaf, but in New York and in Florida, we've gone to different places, and there's usually a woman in there working somewhere. And she's always very welcoming and helpful. And then the guys, you start talking to them, and they're explaining the different things to you. They're always happy to educate you on what you may not know about cigars. Is what I personally have found.
I'll say not every lounge is like that. You still have
Okay.
a few,
No.
and I've heard stories, and I have been in a few
Cool.
that are smaller,
Yeah.
that are in certain neighborhoods that are
Yeah.
not as. So I don't want to put the blanket statement out
Yeah,
there. They're
that's
all
true.
like this
True.
because I have
True.
experience, and I know of girlfriends that have gone into some very stuffy. They look
Because they're
exclusive
still
because
with
they're
the-
still
with the male
with the
dominance,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
And you know, and sometimes like we want to have our own girl space, they want to have their own, so sometimes there's that you come across. But for the most part,
But for the most part, I would say yes, and
Yeah, for the most
it's not just the employees, it's the customers
Right.
who
but
are
yeah, the people.
typically very open.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
I
Well,
think
we-
the other part, you know, aside from what we're talking about here, is that some of the drawbacks that people ask, you know, your smell. You know, your hair gets, you
Your
know,
clothes,
smelly,
right,
your clothes
right.
are smoke smelly. And if you want to smoke in the car, then your car gets smelled. How do you get rid of that?
Okay,
And of
okay.
course,
Yeah.
So let's talk
We've
about,
talked
yeah,
about
let's
the-
talk
the
about how
products
you
and,
get rid
yeah.
of that, because I will Febreze my
Everything.
entire
Right.
and so that is probably a myth that some people, especially women, that may
Yeah.
not want to indulge because they say
Like
there
the
is,
hair,
it gets,
the-
and I will say, we all have to be honest,
Right.
it will get
Yes.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yes,
I mean,
everything.
down to the undergarments.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna get it. It's gonna get it everything. And here's, I've said to someone before, they like, well, you're gonna smell like a cigarette. No,
No.
see, to me, a cigarette smoker smells like that all the time, no matter how much
You try to
you
get
try to
rid of
get rid of it.
Right.
It's in everything because you smoke everywhere, and you're not trying to get it out.
Right.
So I think there's a difference. My smelling like a cigar is, to me, temporary.
Yeah.
And there are products and stuff, so, you know, if I come out at a night from the tobacco leaf and I go home, my husband doesn't smoke. Now, he would prefer that I not get in bed smelling like a cigar. So, yes, I'll take a shower, I'll Febreze my hair. You know, I don't have to, I know, okay, black women, you're thinking about, oh my God, I can't wash my hair every day. Well, I don't. And the Febreze or Ozium Ozium is actually a better product.
Okay.
Citrus.
Now,
Dry
We'll get it out.
citrus magic.
Or
Dry
dry
shampoo.
shampoo. You do dry shampoo.
Right.
All those things will take care of that right away. If you're gonna smoke in your car, use the Ozium. It takes that smell out right away.
okay.
Yeah.
And I would suggest when you take off your clothes, if you're a new smoker, if you've been smoking, you may already know this, separate them from
Right,
your
your
other
regular
clothes and
stuff.
your hamper because it will take over.
And wash them right away.
Don't
let them sit too long.
Or you just
Yeah.
have smoker clothes. You know, like if you come into Tobacco Leaf and Jessup, you know, you just say, you know what, I'm gonna throw on, you know, what I
That's
had
my
here on
outfit.
Friday night and just let it all just.
Yeah. I don't always come out in my finery sparkle. For the tobacco leaf. But when I do, I look fabulous.
You look fabulous.
Okay. But if I'm coming here on an everyday basis, you know, or, you know, for the regular, I might have on some leggings. I mean,
Right, right.
I come here, I'm comfortable.
Mhm,
I'm not, you know, wearing my you know, unless I'm coming here after work.
Yeah, it's because
And
after
then-
work you come in your work clothes, but
Right.
yeah,
Clothes, right.
it can be washed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I say do not let that stop you if you want to indulge
Yeah.
and try it, you know. Because once you try, like I said, we have all levels. We all started slow, and some of us started right into the to the mild. You know, us babies who's like, wait, I have to see how this is gonna taste first. And then speaking about the taste, and that is another myth that how do you get rid of? Now we talked about how we get rid of the clothes. Now what things that you all have come across or learned about how to get rid of the taste in your mouth? Again, we're talking about the taste of cigars.
I knew it would come back.
I knew it was gonna come back. I knew it was gonna circle back.
Well.
So I have heard, got this great tip from someone here that works here at Tobacco Leaf about dark chocolate. Anyone else
Yes.
heard about
Definitely.
Yes,
dark
Definitely,
chocolate?
yeah, dark
Right.
chocolate.
Taking notes on that because that is something we've struggled with is getting that taste so I'd never
Okay.
heard the dark chocolate.
And it
So
also
we'll be
depends on
buying
the
some of
cigar
that.
that you're smoking,
Yeah.
correct?
Depends on the cigar,
Cigar.
and also it's between cigars, because you know they may, even if you don't smoke flavored cigar, they still, the tobacco has a different flavor to it.
Yes.
So you want to cleanse your palate between.
Yeah.
So dark chocolate's great. Another really good one are almonds.
Almonds.
Just
Okay.
have a couple almonds,
Mhm.
and that will cleanse your palate as well.
Okay. Okay.
As will fizzy water, club soda
Club
or any kind of fizzy water will also do that.
Okay. Okay.
Those are my notes, takeaways.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can see some of them have started drinking before the others. Which may, pair well. We'll get into, let's talk about a little bit about pairing your cigarette. And some do wine, red wine, some, so let's talk
It's
about a
early,
little
so-
bit about what
The
you,
white wine.
yeah, what work we talked about Mama Sandy said in the morning she does coffee.
I do coffee like in the morning, like, any of your Starbucks or, lattes, or if you just drink.
With a little shooter or something.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Black, black,
Right. Bailey.
Bailey.
Kahlua and cream and a cigar go great.
Anyone else kind of, what do you find that you enjoy?
I actually enjoy scotch with cigars.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit to sip with your smoking.
So I'm normally a vodka drinker and red wine. So I would say it's been a process getting me, but I find like in the colder winter months, I kind of veer away from the tequila and the vodka and go to stick with my red wine, my heavier wines, but am now trying to go over to dark liquors. So spiced rum, I do like that, a good
Yeah,
spiced
spiced
rum.
rum.
Okay.
They have some rums that are more on the cognac kind of level.
Yeah,
So-
sipping rum.
Sipping
Yeah, like the
rums,
Cava.
the Cavas
Okay.
is really
Yeah.
good. So I've learned that, and then I'm starting to get more into the bourbons and the whiskeys. And
I like
what
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer a bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah.
Yeah, and
meat
I
over
haven't,
the rock.
and
Very
so,
good smooth.
Or
Yeah.
a heavy, if I'm gonna drink wine, it has to be like a Merlot or something
full
on
body.
a
okay,
full body.
something
red.
full body, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's teaching me something because I'm with Laura. I'm usually a martini
Yes,
person
me
with
too.
the lemon drop martinis, and so I'm having a struggle with pairing that
Yeah.
with a cigar, and it doesn't quite pair well.
I could pair a cigar with a martini, but it's gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna be
Fruity.
sweet
It's got-
fruity.
yeah.
It's-
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's gonna be straight
A
up,
dirty martini.
a dirty
martini.
martini, something
Yeah.
like that.
And there's nothing wrong with having a nice iced tea with your.
Yeah.
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 So
Ginger
you
beer.
ju-
A lot of folks
And
have
I love
that.
ginger beer.
Okay,
beer,
so
yeah.
you do not
Ginger
have
beer.
to, don't think that we're saying that you have to.
Yes.
You don't have
You
to.
don't have to, right, so you
Dark
can
Yeah.
say the
She had a
ginger
really good
beer
dark
or
one.
something
Yeah.
like that you
Yeah,
can,
iced
that you
tea,
can, iced tea.
anything, just
Hot
whatever,
apple cider.
whatever you
How
want.
about the cider?
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
be
for
honest,
the
hot apple
holidays,
cider for the
right,
holidays.
okay,
Yeah.
pair it.
I just have to keep that in mind. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I hadn't thought about the apple cider.
Well,
Yeah.
especially if you're smoking outside and it's cooler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
That'd be good. Yeah, normally I wouldn't do a white wine with a cigar, but like this is a mild one, and
Yeah.
it's kind of early in the day, so I don't have time for a nap.
Right?
right. So whatever your choice is, my thing is that try it and find that niche that satisfies you.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, we have an array of different types of things, and like I said, you do not have to,
Right.
drink
Yeah,
alcohol to do that. You can do it with your coffee and your tea and all of that.
Fingers down my spine. Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers? Fingers.